Alright, a rope is used to anchor a boat to the shore. The angle of depression from the boat to the water is 40 degrees. The height of the boat above the water is 25.17 feet. What is the length of the rope that is anchoring the boat to the shore? The length of the rope is approximately blank feet. Enter our answer as a number that correctly fills in the blank in the previous sentence. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest whole number. Alright, let's draw a picture. So we have this boat on a water. So there's our boat on the water. It says that the angle of depression from the boat to the water is 40 degrees. So from our boat, we would draw a horizontal line of sight and then straight down. And this would be 40 degrees. And it says the height of the boat above the water is 25.17 feet. I know this is not drawn to scale because the water is not, the rope is not fully above the water. However, I'm just going to keep it there. So if you wanted to draw your water down here in just a bigger boat, go for it. So this is 25.17 feet. And that's our shore. So it wants to know what is the length of the rope that is anchoring the boat to the shore. So if this is the shore and this is the boat, here's the length we want to find. So here's our 90-degree angle. Again, in a right triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem or trig functions. The Pythagorean theorem requires 2 known side lengths. I only have 1 known side length, so I'm not using Pythagorean theorem. The trig functions require 1 other angle besides the 90-degree angle, which we have, and 1 known side length, which we also have. So we're going to use trig functions. Now the option is which one are we going to use? So let's just write down our options. We have sine. Again, I'm using SOHCAHTOA. So is sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. And then cosine of our angle is CA. C is for cosine and the A is for the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And then TOA is tangent of our angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent side length. So let's label our triangle and find out which one we're going to be using. So from our angle, the side length that's opposite it, which would be this one, directly across, would be our opposite side length. The side length directly across from our 90-degree angle is our hypotenuse. And the side length that is touching the angle but is not the hypotenuse is the adjacent side length. So on this, we're looking for the hypotenuse and we're given the opposite, or we know the opposite side length. So I'm looking for something that has a ratio between the hypotenuse and the opposite. So we go to sine, it is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Right there, that's the one that we're going to be using because it has those 2 side lengths in its ratio. So let's erase these ones and let's get going with it. So we have sine of our angle, which is 40 degrees. So sine of 40 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is 25.17, divided by our hypotenuse, which is x. Now, since x is in the denominator, it's the one that's actually dividing this 25.17. So I want to flip it. I want it to be in the numerator because it's easier for me to work with when it's in the numerator. So we're going to use the reciprocal rule again. So again, remember any number can be written as a fraction over 1. So sine of 40 is a number. It's actually a decimal. And we can write it over 1. So let's do the reciprocal. So we would have 1 over the sine of 40 is equal to, flip these ones, x over 25.17. Alright, so now x is being divided by something instead of it dividing to something. So we can, I know that the inverse operation of dividing by 25 would be multiplying by 25. The reason why we want to multiply by 25.17 is because it will reduce down to 1 on this side. So we have 25.17. Again, remember, any number can be written as a fraction over 1. So when we multiply fractions, it's top to top, bottom to bottom. So 25.17 times 1 is 25.17. And 1 times sine of 40 is sine of 40. And then, on this side, we would have x divided by 25.17 being multiplied by 25.17. These reduce down to 1. That was our whole goal in doing that. So then we're just left with 1x, which is more commonly just written as x. So jump over to our symbol lab. We have 25.17 being divided by sine of 40. And so I'm just checking that it's solving for sine of 40 degrees. So the decimal is 39.15. So I guess x equals 39.15. It did say to round your answer to the nearest whole number, so 39.1 is closer to 39 than it is to 40. So this would be 39, and that's how you would answer this question.